Hello everybody, it's the Doctor here with Typical Manga Fan, and today we're going to be, in this episode we're going to be discussing Naruto Chapter 700 plus 7, Genetic Slaves. And we open with a charming picture of adult Sen Uchiha's guts open. Lovely. And we also, and basically, along with him is Sakura and his army of copper Uchihas.
Yeah.
And he explains that the Copper Kids are actually clones of him, share the same genes and same genetic makeup as himself. I mean, but Sakura is still kind of morally outraged. You're like, who do you think you are, Orochimaru? Yeah, he was my mentor. Well, that explains a whole lot, doesn't it?
We gotta stop having him be like part of everything, because I swear to gosh, I'm just sick. I'm sick of Orochimaru.
Yep. And then, we also have a nice little color spread up here of burrito, salad, and Orochi mini.
Is this foreshadowing that they're gonna be like a team?
I think that's already kind of been foreshadowed, but yeah, it looks like it.
Well, I mean, we knew that. Well, I don't think that's ever been foreshadowed because we never really had the concept of teams again.
True.
But I'm assuming that this is what it's gonna be.
Yep. Because I noticed I just noticed that none of them are wearing headbands.
Well, maybe because it's not official yet.
True enough. Anyway, like I said, we're going on here.
Change the design too quickly.
He kind of corrects himself though, like Shin Senior corrects himself, like, be more accurate. I'm a former experiment of his for the development of cloning techniques. That morally deficient snake bastard, Sakura says.
Yeah. I'd like to mention here that this is a little confusing later on, but as it turns out, this is the first example of actual cloning in the Naruto universe. This is the first time. So they're all actually.
What about Yamato? Wasn't he like a big thing of clones?
Yeah, but he's not. He wasn't. But he wasn't an identical clone. He was like a genetic. It was not genetic. It was not identically like a perfect match. I think it was, or like.
But he was kind of like cloned from the first Hokage.
He was cloned, but I think there was a few. He was. He was already born, but like they implanted the gene into him. There we go.
Okay.
These guys are actually cultivated from like this guy's teeth and nerves. And this is the first, and they explain later on. That's why it was such a. I was confused. I'm like, wait, I forgot. There's no clones yet in this. The technology is not the same as ours. But so I'm just so we go back to Naruto, and he's just like, he can't sense Sakura at all. And
like he's using Sage Mode, so he points out that either they got really far or escaped in a barrier. Yeah. But he has that same lead from Kakashi about Orochimaru, so that's kind of their next destination.
Yeah, and then Sasuke remembers that the right arm was exactly the same, and that it was for Danzo, and had a bunch of Sharingans on it. And they're like, okay, let's go to Orochimaru's. And then the kids have to go with them because they don't want to, for them to be taken hostage.
Right, they were already targeting Sarada.
Yeah. And then Cho-Cho gives chips to Sasuke because the fat joke's getting kind of old now.
Well, a little bit, but she's trying to be nice, is what it is.
I know,
like,
but
she's trying to break the mood.
She's done this at least. She's tried or thought of doing this 3 times already. Let's not stretch it too much.
Still, let's just get a refreshing break from Choji, who's always so sensitive about it.
Well, I mean, it's just like there's the fat jokes there's at least one fat or 2 fat jokes every chapter that ever since like this epilogue began. So it was just kind of like, I'm getting a little tired of it now.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Sakura and Senior, and he's pretty much like he pretty much doesn't think like death's anything to mourn for, because thanks to genetics and how things get passed on, nobody truly dies in their sense.
Yeah. So he's thinking like in the big picture, like the really big picture.
Yeah.
And he gets all existential. Like, what is exactly what we call death? Blah blah blah. He and Sakura argue about a bit because she has a child too, and it's actually more important with her because we don't even know if Sally is really her child.
Yeah. Of course, Shin just shoots back that creating children is like just basic procreational instinct.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like pointing more towards maybe Sakura not being her child, because it would prove Shin wrong, because then she would love a child that's not really hers. Although again, makes Sasuke seem like an asshole.
Toward the end of this, there's kind of an interesting line on this.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's talking about evolution and all that stuff. Like, we become more efficient, yada yada. It's like, war is imperative for people to evolve. That is why Akatsuki exists. I was under the impression that it exists for exactly the opposite reason.
Yeah.
At least for pain.
Pain, yeah. Well, I mean, he first off, there was a lie that most of us Akatsuki thought, that believed in. Only the core members really knew the difference. Like for example, Kakuzu and Hidan, they thought that it was supposed to create war and then basically use it as like an economic way to conquer the world, which is kind of like a weird thing. But then Pain's like, nope. And Pain, this is gonna help the world.
He wanted to war them into submission.
Yeah, it's just everyone. The problem was that there was like 5 different goals because they kept changing leaders. Like the leader was actually used by Toby, who was used by Madara, who was used by Black Zetsu, who's technically who's with Kaguya. I won't say being used, but is in cahoots with Kaguya. It was just puppet being controlled by a puppet master, who was actually a puppet being controlled by a puppet master. So the goals kind of got weird.
Yeah, true.
And it just came back to Kaguya wants chakra.
Yum.
Came back. That's literally all. That's the end of the line. Like that's what it all came down to. Kaguya wanted chakra.
So you needed to gain weight.
Anyway,
so he's feeling a bit too thin.
Yeah. So Sakura's just comparing it to Orochimaru and how much how much dumber he is, and he's like, you have no idea what a parent, or what it means to be a parent, or what humans hold dear. And then we switch back to,
Speaking of Yamato.
It's Yamato. You mean?
Well, that's what I said, Yamato.
Oh, I thought you said Yamamoto.
No.
So we go back to Yamato, who doesn't want to be referred to as captain anymore, considering that Naruto technically outranks him now. But he's like, it's habit. He's old now, by the way. And then
old enough that Cho-Cho's like, he's definitely not my papa.
Yeah, we can also see the wrinkles in his eyes and all that shit. But yeah, so basically he's been his mission was to basically track Orochimaru. And I guess they're right now outside the base. Orochimaru and Sasuke's like, I know where I am. Like, so he basically leads them in, and then we meet Jugo and Suigetsu.
You know what? I kind of wonder. I almost wonder if this was the same base where they first reunited with Sasuke in the post time skip, like on the first mission with Yamato.
Yeah, that is actually it is. Also, why the hell do these two guys care about Orochimaru again?
I don't know. I think it's more like, where else are they gonna go? Of course, Karin.
Anywhere but Orochimaru, who experiments on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, though, Sarada does recognize them as the other people in the photo, and look, Jugo was in the photo.
Yeah, we kind of knew that because we could see part of him. It was obviously just covered. Like he was, that part was covered.
Who took that photo?
I don't know. Orochimaru was like, say cheese. Yeah, you're right. Who the hell took that photo?
Jugo. Now I'm just picking Orochimaru or Kabuto like a child photographer trying to get one of them to crack a smile. Come on, Sasuke, look at the birdie.
It's also why they're all stern faced, kind of even Karin. But anyway, so he's like, lead me to where Orochimaru is, and Orochimaru's like, hey, I'm here, and I look younger than ever for some reason.
Don't you like? Do you like what I did? It's called a nip and tuck, newest thing.
Okay, I'm kind of sick of Orochimaru, just because I feel like his time is done. Like we already had him for such a long time as a villain, and we beat him like, Itachi. We beat him twice. Sasuke beat him one time, and then Itachi beat him the second time, and he's back. It's just like I'm tired of him. I would have preferred Madara just coming back out of nowhere, because at this point it's just kind of stupid.
I do like Cho-Cho's reaction. Like, if this person is my parent, would he be my papa or my mama? Is it my mom or my dad? Even she's not sure. Like, Sarada's like...
I'd like to talk more about that later, but...
Okay. Oh, you there?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Actually, turn on my mic. But yeah. So I'll talk more about that later. Because there was a tweet I retweeted about that. Okay. Or I'd read and I forgot. So basically, Sasuke explains the situation, and as it turns out, he really was Orochimaru's experiment. He's basically like, apparently this that Shin is intoxicated with Itachi.
He's a big old Itachi fanboy, basically.
Well, who isn't? I mean, Itachi was awesome.
Everybody who wasn't already a Sasuke fanboy, I suppose.
Yeah, but Itachi actually earned his stripes. Like it's just like, Itachi was a great character that I honestly would have just rather replaced with Sasuke, because I hate Sasuke like it. Anyway, so it turns out that this is the child who literally became Danzo's right arm, the original Shin. And he had this apparently a unique ability where he can accept anything transplanted on him without rejection. And they talk about cloning, and then it turns out that clones aren't, did not exist in this world because the technology is kind of new, and how like he explains like, well, this is not really a shadow clone. This is an actual legitimate clone, and the only way to kill them is if the only way to make them disappear is if you kill them.
Right.
It was kind of weird reading this because I subconsciously I'm already used to the idea of clones, so I'm just like, why does Naruto not get it? I'm like, oh wait,
they're
don't
scientific
have
clones.
Yeah, but they didn't have those. I mean, I knew they were scientific clones, but they didn't have those in this universe yet. That's why. Because I was just so confused. Like, what, shouldn't Naruto know this? I'm like, oh wait, he shouldn't know this because this is the first time it's happened. Because I'm just so used to the idea of clones in the Naruto universe that I forgot that the actual clones that we know as in the real world it didn't exist yet.
Yep. Of course, and this is why Orochimaru points out that you can prove anything with genetics, like individuality and relatedness with them, which pretty much immediately gets Sarada's attention.
Yeah. So she talks about what about more conventional parent and children, blah blah blah, and Orochimaru's like, of course, and she calls her Little Miss. So he doesn't recognize her, so I don't think she's Orochimaru's experiment. Also, okay, so Cho-Cho says, oh, I don't know if any of this is true, but we don't even know what gender he is. Yeah. He or she's freaking me out, and I made it. To talk about them more because previously about Cho-Cho mentioned how Orochimaru is she a guy or woman. There was a joke saying like if this was a Marvel or DC comics, all the left wingers. So I forgot how you said the left wing people.
Liberal.
Leftist. I think that's leftist. You call them
liberal.
Liberals. But I was just thinking the word left wing for some reason. Yeah, the liberals would go crazy over this. Like, they would get upset. There would be so much uproar, so much comments, so much hate against Cho-Cho for this. And honestly, take a freaking joke. Like, really.
I don't really think it's relevant at the moment, though.
It isn't, but there was a tweet that pointed it out. I'm like, yeah, right. Had this been American made, everyone would have been pissed off, because especially with the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing and all that stuff, everyone would have been like, oh, she's being inconsiderate, Kishimoto's being considerate, he has a problem with transsexuals. It's like, dude, take a freaking joke.
Yeah. Anyways, like I said, Orochimaru takes him away to explain further, but Sarada stops Suigetsu and asks if they could ask him about Karin. Like, oh, she's at a different hideout, not here. And so she asks for a different favor, and they go to a...
Yeah. Of course, Karin's at a different hideout. Of course she is,
And he pretty much shares her suspicions, and Suigetsu's like, Sasuke was that scummy a loser bastard.
Yeah, and the manga stream is like, I didn't know that Sasuke was that much of a pimp. I'm not gonna lie, I wish I found this, and maybe in a different situation I would find this funny, but at this point I just feel really bad for Sakura.
Well, it's hard to say. Until we know the exact circumstances, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't think... We'll have to see how it goes here, but... No,
I'm not even about the confirmation, just like the whole situation, I just feel really bad for these characters, because of how much Sasuke, because this is all literally pinpoint, it all comes down to Sasuke, What did he do, what did he didn't do, what didn't he do, and, there's this whole, this is a little tiny flashback of, a panel of her, trying to hit on Sasuke, and I'm getting a little irritated, because I don't understand why she has a thing for Sasuke. He saved her life once, okay, fine, but I don't know. I just think her obsession with Sasuke is a little. It's been overdone. Yeah.
Anyway, and Suigetsu does actually find in Karin's desk what looks like to be a hair sample from her, and so he also takes a swab of Sarada, and they do an analysis, and Karin, you are the mother.
Well, no, not necessarily. It's a match. That's all it says.
Well, yeah, but it's going off a match off Karin. So.
Yeah, well, it's a match between their DNA. That doesn't necessarily. Well, there's a reason why I'm saying that. Well, first off, what he used, I believe, was her umbilical cord, right?
Well, all it says, I'm pretty sure this is from when Karin was born.
Yeah, but it didn't look like a hair. It might have been her umbilical cord or whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And Karin has a really weird hairstyle now. Yep. I don't know what the hell's wrong with her. But yeah, as it turns out, it's a match. And honestly, it's not really surprising to me because there was no way they were going to end the subplot that quickly. Had it been no match found, it would be like, oh, okay. And then, we never really talk about this again, right? There was no way they would build this up for so long, and if this was the moment, have a no match found. There was no way. Either the machine would have broken right before it would given the answer, or it says match found, and so it was one of those two. And so Karin, damn it, Solid, take off the glasses, please. Just take off those glasses.
Why does keep comparing the glasses? Like, that's hardly a sign of genetic links.
It isn't, but it's just why I'm thinking of Karen all the time, because I always define Karen by her glasses. So every time I see Salad with her glasses, I just think Karen. But yeah, no, there's no reason for the glasses to really be a similarity.
And we also find out that Naruto's kind of hearing all this, like he's kind of in there and watching this too. I don't know if it's actually him or if it's a clone that's watching it, or clone went to Orochimaru, either way. But it's like Suigetsu kind of awkwardly gets out of there. It's like, I kind of feel like I did something bad there. Like, even Naruto's like, yeah, you done goofed.
Yeah. I forgot, did I mention that Salad gives a really, really dark face? I was about to say that before I got distracted by the Salad Karen thing, but she gives a really surprised, shocked face, like with this, like a shadowing and everything. It's really sad to see, and somewhat scary. But anyway, so she remembers, the whole thing about being connected to the dad, and she's just thinking to herself, probably like, everything's a lie. She starts crying, and then Sugetsu's like, I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Yeah. But it's like, and then like Naruto tries to come back to her, like tell her that they're going off to rescue her mom. But it's like she's pretty much taking this badly. Like, she calls him a liar. Like, why do I have to go rescue someone who's not my mom? You deceived me all my life. And we actually see her, like, as she's telling him to go to hell, we also see that her Sharingan's like flared up.
Yeah, well, of course, that's the emotional thing.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to note though, it was just literally pointing out that Naruto didn't know this.
Right.
And which is a big deal, because he's the 7th Hokage. If there's like top secret bullshit coming on, he would know this.
He would have a right to know it for the most part there.
Yeah, there's no way they would hide it from him. He would know everything. I mean, he is the 7th, right?
Yeah.
But one woman, so that actually is part of maybe thinking maybe there's not too much. Maybe it's not as complex in the sense that there's a conspiracy. Because if the Hokage doesn't know, then either it's between Sasuke and Sakura or something is off. Because remember, Shizune knows. Shizune knows too. So if Shizune knows, then they're definitely not Naruto. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Naruto's both a friend and the Hokage. He would have to know if there was something going, like, really bad going on. And so I think it's not as it's not as much of a conspiracy as maybe it may seem. Also, okay, so I think that the biggest talking point is well, there's 2 talking points. One, why the hell are they letting Orochimaru around even though they're monitoring him? And 2, who is Karen's mother? Who is Salad's mother? I'm gonna be switching those 2 for the rest of my life, aren't I?
Probably, until we get some kind of difference in their looks. I mean, like I said, everything is pointing towards Karen being the mother, but it's still hard to say. Like, there could be something else going on here, but everything still kind of points in that direction.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to the Orochimaru thing first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people are saying, most of them. There's a lot of debate in the comments. Why did they let Orochimaru, leave? And they said, oh, he helped out, but it's like, no, he helped out because it was convenient for him. Because if he didn't help out, everyone would basically be in this in the illusion. So there was no reason for him not to,
Right.
And they said, maybe he, they went easy. I'm like, okay, Sasuke barely got off, and that's because he was friends with everyone. And Kishimoto has a hard on for Sasuke, but he was friends with everyone. They wanted to give him a release, but Orochimaru's different. He caused a lot of bullshit to happen, and it makes no sense they would try to leave him out. They would let him roam, even if they were monitoring him. Leaving him roam, it's just way too dangerous. Because why Orochimaru would never be satisfied with them monitoring him? Because all the shit he wants to do, there's no way that stuff is going to be it's what the Leaf Village would let happen. So this, if he's doing stuff, he's probably hiding it. In which case, that defeats the whole purpose of monitoring him.
Right.
And so it's just like there's maybe you don't kill him. Like, if they have an execution, you don't kill him for helping you, but it's like life imprisonment. Because it's just I think it's really irresponsible to let Orochimaru lose. Because the whole it brings me back to the fact that he looks younger. He might have taken a new body. In which case, that guy's life.
He's killed someone.
Yeah, that guy's life is on the Leaf Village's hands. Like, that guy's blood, like his life, everything is on the Leaf Village's hands. Like, I have issues with that. And everyone's like,
the only thing that comes to my mind that might make it sense is if he in his time of house arrest in that lab, or maybe he has to share what he discovers with them. I don't know, but because he is intelligent. I mean, that could be like a Mayuri type thing.
Yeah, but
because Mayuri is at least as big a scumbag as Orochimaru is.
Yeah, but Mayuri is actually still loyal to the Shinigamis in a really weird way. He's barely, but he'll fight the Quincy's. He even said he was actually the most adamant about protecting Soul Society. Remember? Because he did a lot of questionable things. But he said in the end, it was to protect Soul Society. Orochimaru just wants to get the Sharingan and then learn every jutsu in the world.
Right.
That hasn't changed. So there's still the problem. Like, he's not Mayuri. Mayuri actually is loyal to the right people. Orochimaru is only loyal to himself, and that's not changed. So I don't see why they would let him off, if only just for the story's convenience. But of course, there is no reason. Like, they could have captured him. They're enough powerful people in the Leaf Village to do that.
Yep.
And honestly, I'd rather him be in jail forever than have a possibility of him maybe helping Leaf Village in some of his scientific ways, because maybe he helps them in this one way, but he does like 7 bad things,
of course,
on side.
It's also entirely possible that there's something in between the years between the Kaguya fight and then that prompted them to allow him free.
I don't know. And also the fact is, even if he helps the village, he could easily poison the Kokage. Maybe give them something that might poison people. Who knows? That's the thing. Orochimaru has done nothing to prove that he is reliable. The only thing he's done was help out everyone at the end. But again, as I said before, and as all the commenters kept arguing for, I said some people argue back, but I'm also arguing back that he did it because he didn't really have much of a choice.
Right. Like I said, there might be something else going on, but really, it's like the real reason he's there is just because he's a convenient source of information for the rest of the crew.
Yeah, and then of course now we go to the big part, which is Salad's mother. In my head I was saying Karen, but I was able to say Salad with my mouth. Yes.
Go your mouth.
Yeah. So
no, seriously, go your mouth. Come on.
Okay. So the big thing that so a lot of people are saying, I guess this is done, No, but I think it's more than that. As much as I also said that there's no way they're going to end it, there's also no way they're going to say this is the answer. At least the simple answer of, Karen's the mother. Yeah. I think that, I don't know if I mentioned before, I don't know if I recorded this, but there's a theory that goes on with Karen, because she bit Sasuke a lot to heal him, because she has this biting thing, that possibly she bit him so much that somehow her genes kind of fused with, or chakra, fused with Sasuke in some way that affected his genes. That would have made it, that when he had a kid with Sakura, would have made her match. Kind of like you said was Batman Beyond type of thing.
Yeah.
Where they kind of overwrote Terry's dad with Bruce Wayne's genes.
Yeah, I mean, like, it seems like overdoing it just for the sake of like this one thing. That's why I've been more of the mind that maybe like Karen did some kind of like cloning thing with Sasuke's genetic material without telling him about it, at least until after she was born.
Yeah.
To be honest, I like that theory mostly because I find it hilarious that not only was Sasuke not there to be a father for his child, but he was not even there to father his child.
Or, yeah. Well, I mean, no, but she still has Sasuke's genes. It's just that she doesn't have Sakura's genes. So she maybe the genes kind of overwrote Sakura instead of Sasuke.
Yeah, but either way, Sarada is not taking as well at the moment. Like, she'll probably come around, but that reaction is the harsh one.
And the other theory is that do we really know that umbilical cord or whatever the hell he was using was actually Karen's? Because there's a reason why she wasn't there, right? Because if she was there,
she could have told him what it was,
or they could have taken it directly from her and then saying. But the fact that and the fact that Sugetsu's like, I'll just take this from her desk, and I think this is what it came from her when she was born.
Right.
It's just like,
I would not really trust Sugetsu to run heavy machinery of any kind.
Yeah. I mean, but the fact is there's match found, so something was, when you have guys who don't know what they're doing, you're more likely to get stuff that doesn't match than when it does. So, why? First off, we have to ask ourselves, why is it a match? What is matching? We have her swab. That is definitely hers, obviously. But then there's something. Do you think that umbilical cord? Some people said that maybe it's not really umbilical cord. Maybe it's something from Sasuke, or maybe that umbilical cord is actually from Karen herself, or not Karen herself, Salad herself, somehow. Like, it's not Karen's, it's Salad's.
That could work in a way, because like if they're actually just matching Sarada to herself.
Yeah, that's one thing. So it would be a match, and of course it doesn't tell. See, the thing about the machine is it didn't actually say Karen is your mother. It said match,
right?
Which is very general and not really telling if you think about it.
Like, given what they know about the situation, that suggests it, but at the same time, not so much that doesn't confirm it. Like, doesn't say flat out this is the case.
And it all comes down to this: if it's really the simple explanation of Sasuke had a thing with Karen, I don't think anyone can respect Sasuke after this.
Well,
I don't.
That's why I fall to the theory of Sasuke like not being aware of any of this.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if that is the case,
Mhm.
then there's no way we can respect Sasuke, right?
Well, you
Like,
say that like we did.
No, but I mean, like, there's no way anyone who isn't blinded.
Right.
Well, then again, anyone who is blinded isn't blind should probably hate Sasuke already. But you know what I'm saying, like, right? There's no way that
But
there's
the
no
only way
that-
for him, the only way he can come off sympathetic is if he had,
Yeah.
is if there's something else that we're not aware of, or if he did not know about any of this until afterwards.
Like, there's no way he can come back from this. At this point, it's just like gone. Because I mean, I make fun of Sasuke a lot, and I am really mean to him. But that's mostly because I have issues with him just personally. In terms of like the way I know people like him. I know, and I personally sympathize with the whole work your butt off thing. So I don't like Sasuke as a character or as like a representation of what he is for. But I also don't like his writing. But like the thing is though, if this is the case, I truly cannot respect him. You know, there's no way. Like the fans who would support Sasuke after this.
Well, like I said, if he was not aware of Sarada's birth until after the fact,
then
he still has some room to be sympathetic, just because you can't blame him for not being aware of it.
Well, I'm just saying that if he was aware, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But of course, Naruto wasn't aware, and that is a big point.
Yep. I said, and I'm curious to see where that goes. Will they demand? I wonder if they're going to demand answers from Sasuke coming up here later, or if something else is going on entirely, or if they'll even get a chance to with everything else going on.
If she really is an Uzumaki and she gets with Boruto, that'd be kind of weird. Well, it won't be kind of weird because they've apparently the clans inbreed, don't they?
I don't know about that.
Don't they though? But because they've obviously been mixed as of this generation, but previously haven't they been inbreeding a lot? Like the Byakuya.
I don't think they've ever actually said that one way or the other.
But they had to because the wife looks exactly like the father a lot of times.
Well, we've never seen Hinata's mother.
Well, I mean, specifically Uchiha.
We don't know if she had the Sharingan, though, do we?
The mother? She had the Sharingan.
Yeah.
And there's also the whole, like, we see what the hybrid looks like now, and we've never seen the hybrid before, which kind of also implies that there was never really a intermixing. Like the Byakugan, right? Neither of Naruto's kids had the Byakugan. So...
Well,
yeah.
Not at their age, anyway.
But Hinata had hers when she was like 4.
True. Anyway,
So.
Still, like I said, at that point, this has been, like I said, Naruto 700 plus 7. Like I said, there definitely some room to see what goes on here. Like I said, I still have to believe that Sasuke at least was unaware until it was too late about this, but like I said, there could be some other factor entirely that none of us are aware of just yet. But like I said, if you have any thoughts about this, give us a comment, and if you like our reviews, give us a like, and hopefully subscribe as well, and we'll keep you going week by week. Meantime, go ahead and take us away.
Bye.